because I want this side to be boom and then this side to be boom.
What?
So what's the method then for laying down the detail stones? So what you need to do is take the maximum surface area of one portion. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you just chuck it down. In the last episode, guys, we added the substrate system to our new angelfish tank and our custom lighting. So we've got the JBL Volcano mineral stone you can see there, which is basically like a really porous stone. Basically, it's lava rock. And then we've got the 𝐃𝐎𝐍'𝐶 natural at the foreground as a decorative sand. And then above that, custom lighting. That's just 2 LED floodlights. Links are in the description, but we just made these little brackets for them to go on out of some wood. I think it's done a really good job and it looked great. But that's enough of the recap. Let's get on with this video. So what I'm unboxing here is a shipment of Millennium Stone. Now you might be thinking, what's the difference between Millennium Stone and 𝐷𝐻𝐻 Stone? So as far as I can tell, 𝐷𝐻𝐻 Stone tends to have like white veins running through it and it looks more sort of rough and not quite as smooth or rounded, if you like. Millennium Stone kind of reminds me of elephant skin in a way. It seems to be a little bit more subtle than 𝐷𝐻𝐻 Stone. And as you can see, we've got an absolute ton of it here. I would say there's about 30 kilograms of stone here. Now it's important to get a large amount of hardscape. Basically, the more you have, the more you can choose from. And there's nothing worse than looking at a large tank that's got a few bits of rock in it and not a lot else. It will completely ruin your aquascape if you don't have enough hardscape to begin with. And as you know, hardscape is the skeleton of the whole aquarium. If you don't get this bit right, you're really going to struggle to get a good look as we progress. Let's get scaping. Right, where to start? I'm just going to pick stuff up, start chucking it in, and just chat to you whilst I'm doing it. I'm just explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. If it can be explained, I mean, a lot of this is all kind of random, making it up as you go along. So let's just get on with it. Right, so far on this side, we've just got a... Oh... Ow. Yeah, so far on this side, we've just got a really big sort of section, if you like. It's quite a sort of impactful area. It's going to be even higher as well. So what I'm going to do is put even more of the substrate behind these rocks here. And then it means we can come up probably about to this height with the rock. Because I want this side to be boom. And then this side to be boom.
What?
Using silly sounds to describe that. Hopefully you know what I mean there. Like a big side and then a lower side. So it's not all on one level, if you like. And then that means we've got the 2 key focal points and we can focus our wood arrangements around those 2 areas. Just a quick disclaimer, guys. I don't want you to think that just because I'm talking in a confident way, it means I think I'm some sort of expert or anything. I'm going to let you into a little secret. I make all this up as I go along. And that is the truth of it. That's how I like to aquascape. I like to make it up. I don't plan anything. I know there are some aquascapers out there who plan it down to the T and spend like a month on their hardscape. I mean, as you've just seen then, I've just chucked stuff in and thought it looked good. Does there really need to be anything more than that? For what I like doing, then no, there isn't. I appreciate that there's some like competition people out there that like to go above and beyond with their scapes. That's not me. Their stuff looks amazing, don't get me wrong, but as you'll see as this progresses, I don't think there's any need to go to masses of fine tuning and tweaking constantly. By all means, follow a shape and make it fit, but like tiny angles and that on the rock, I don't think are going to make a difference because 1, it's going to be shaded because I'm going to have so many plants and wood over the top of it, and 2, it's going to be full of anubias. I've got so much anubias to ram into all these nooks and crannies, you won't even be able to see much of the rock. I'm now placing the rock into the right side of the tank. This side will be a lot shallower than the left, and this is deliberate because we don't want to just make it look like a solid wall. Nature doesn't really work like that. You can also see we've got a bit of an S shape going on with the position of the rocks. This means that in a deeper section we can also add a separate little island if we want to. Keep that nice and low. It will just add a really nice interesting area in the foreground. When you're creating an aquascape, you want to be picking lots of little points that draw the eyes in and keep them travelling over the whole aquascape. If you can do this, then you'll end up with a fantastic result in my opinion. So it's the next day now, guys. As I said, I want to take my time with this one, and you can see I've got all of these rocks still to be able to put on top of this set. Oh, I haven't even put the lights on. Whoops. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, so I want to put these rocks on top of the rocks we've got. But in order to do that, I need to start building up this layer at the back a bit more. I could just use aquasaur only, but the problem with that is it will have a tendency to creep through any gaps that we've got here. So if I build up the lava rock at the back, the volcano mineral, if I build that up close to the rocks a bit more and then put the aqua soil on, we should be alright in terms of it, you know, falling into the foreground. Some of it will, that's just how it goes. I then spotted that there's a little gap at the front here in this section, and I thought it would look really good to block it with another piece of rock. Adding in these little pieces of rock in the foreground can really add more detail and give better sense of scale to the larger rocks. So that's all the base layer of substrate and the first layer of rocks in. Next job is to start building up that background with a bit of our Tropica aquarium soil powder stuff. This is the fine grained stuff, like I said before. I like to use it. It's really good at just sort of locking in plants if you get nice and deep into it. And with the amount of depth we want to create here, we can have a really decent layer in there to be able to plant nice and deep. So we're now at the stage where we can add our aqua soil in. Well, at least I thought we were, and then as I started to pour the aqua soil into this corner, I noticed it was creeping through a small gap in the left hand side. Stop everything, we don't want to continue with it like that. I then remembered a method I've used in many of my other tanks to stop this happening. What you want to do is take some spare filter floss, go around the back of the rock, and you can push it into the gaps. This means there's absolutely no chance of anything coming through, not even fine grains of sand or aqua soil or anything, which is absolutely perfect. And then I thought I might as well go across the whole aquascape and plug everything. After that's done, we can then start adding in the aqua soil again. Place it in nice and carefully. I like to stick it to the back first and then gently push it forward with my hands. Again, just seeing if there is any gaps, and then if we spot anywhere, we can add even more filter floss. So that's all the aqua soil in, well, not all of it. I've actually banked it up at the back there just to show myself the level I actually want it to be at. But by putting in what I have already, that's allowed me now to see any gaps that would have fallen through. But also, it's now enabling me to place some more rock on that level there to be able to raise the height even more in these sections. And then we can put even more soil behind that. So I know that seems a bit extreme. I mean, there's quite a lot there already. It's about half the aquarium in height. But the front bit isn't. There's only like an inch there of soil. I want more than that, especially as there's going to be all crypts in this sort of area, because that'll be the shaded points. So now it's a case of just building up a nice big layer of rock there, and then in another area sort of here as well. Not as high, because we want a high area and a low area. It's just really good for the eyes if you have that, and that's what I want to do. So for a long time now, I've been lugging big jerry cans of water to and from the studio, and to be honest, I just had enough of it. And then I come up with a solution. So you can see here I've got hooked on the side of my shed 2 hoses. One of them that I'm going to be using as a way of siphoning out water from an aquarium, and the other one can plug directly into one of my taps. There's a hook bend on the end of this pipework. Nice and quickly you can just hook it over the end of the aquarium and then stick it out into the garden. I can then go and find the outlet for the other pipe. We can also put that in the aquarium, and then I can run it into a tap into the house. We can now switch on the tap, and I've left 2 little notches above and below at the exact point where I need to turn it for the right temperature. The easiest way to do this is to get to a temperature you require and then hold a thermometer under the water to make sure it is correct. And now, as you can see, the water's coming into the aquarium. It's at this point as well that we want to add our Dechlorinator to the water. And now we can go outside into the garden and start the siphon on the pipe that's going to take the water out of the tank. And there we go, guys, the tank's looking spick and span. That's actually the biggest water change I've done on this tank since I set it up, which was about 2 months ago now. I'm going to estimate about a 50% water change. Every now and again it's good to do that just to reset the levels if you like. Provided you've got enough media in your filter, you should be absolutely fine for beneficial bacteria, so don't worry about any of that stuff. As I said though, it's important if you're going to do a big water change like that to add that Dechlorinator. We don't want to harm any of our fish, do we? So that's the Rainbow River tank sorted, and secretly I'm annoyed at myself for not coming up with a system before. The amount of time I've wasted lugging stuff around as well. Anyway, since I just done that, I just did a water change in every single tank in the fish room in like 35 minutes. That's brilliant. But enough of that, let's get back to the tank and start adding a few more details. So you might notice this section here is slightly different. So that one at the back there was right forward coming along, and it looked like too much of a flat straight wall to me. So I've set it back a bit, which exposed a little bit of the soil. I put in some more of the filter floss and then just put a couple more rocks on top that you can see, this one and this one. I didn't film that because it was a bit of a sort of gut reaction to doing something, and I just did it thinking that I could film it again afterwards, but now it's there, it looks good. I don't need to change it. But we've got some really nice sort of flow going on now. We've got like a whoa, 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 which is what you want. You don't want everything flat, do you? The next job though is to start adding lots more detail on the front here, because at the moment it's looking way too clean for what I like. So what's the method then for laying down the detail stones? So what you need to do is take the maximum surface area of one portion. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you just chuck it down, like literally. The best way to get this looking as natural as possible is just to throw it in there. One thing I will say though is to condense the amount of stones closer to the rock wall as you can, so it sort of grades out as it comes forwards. This tends to be how stones lay in nature, on a river bottom or something like that. But again, don't focus on that too much, just let it sort of happen. I'm also using the stone to sort of fill out any deep cracks and crevices as well. This should stop any detritus or any grime collecting in those areas at a later date. See? Forward thinking and planning. That's the result of doing many scapes now. I can think about the long-term cleaning and maintenance aspect of it as I'm building it, which is really, really useful. Okay, well that's turned out absolutely brilliant. I'm loving that look. It just instantly transforms it, doesn't it? And I want to take it one step further as well. So I've actually got a load of the 𝐉𝐻𝐈𝐍 left over from another project, and this stuff's going to add even more of a really nice aesthetic to that sort of border area. So as with before guys, be random in your placement. I'm being a little bit different with this stuff because I'm just chucking it directly onto the stones. By doing this, it will fall down and create its own placement that will look kind of more natural and as if it's sort of flowed down a river and just fallen into place. I then got bored of doing it with my hand and just started chucking it on with the tub. Well, I think we've absolutely nailed it guys. I'm loving that look. Grading looks so natural, but I think we're kind of missing something in this section, or well, we're not missing it, but I'd like to see a small little outcrop, if you like, of rocks. Something that I can add a few little plants to, like a little island, if you like, separate on its own, keeping it shallow, of course. I don't want it to be impacting the main view of the whole aquarium. I just think a little bit of detail down there might be quite good. So we've got a couple of rocks left over. I'm going to put them in that area and just see how it goes. Might not work, but hopefully it does. I know. You're probably thinking, that looks awful. Why have you got that random bit there? It doesn't go with the flow. Trust me, it should come into its own when we start planting. But overall, guys, I have to say, I think this is the best hardscape I've ever done. Hopefully you'll agree with me. And I think the reason it's been so successful is that I've been able to take my time with it. Like I said, doing the videos for you in this way, more of a vlog style as it happens. And it just means I can take a lot more consideration with everything I'm doing and making sure that I'm 100% happy with it before moving on to the next stage. This is something that you should all try and practice when you're building your hardscapes. In the next video, guys, we're going to be looking at the wood. More specifically, how to create little pockets of nature on each bit of wood that then we transfer into the scape itself. This is the best way to get a really good look on your wood structures. Build them up separately and place them all together. So I'm running that into a separate video because if I add that on this one, it's going to be an incredibly long video and half of you would have clicked off by this point anyway. Let me know in the comments if you're still here for this bit. Late squad. Put hashtag late squad. But yeah, next episode should be really good. Wood and also, you know, epiphyte plants that you attach to it, how you get your moss on it. It's a really good detail that's really important, I think. If you can do this and take the time with it, take the care with it, then you're on to a winner straight away. And to be honest, the tank will look good just from that alone. Obviously, we've got everything else we can plant as well, so it's just going to get more and more big, for lack of a better word. But it's going to be big. Like, I'm well excited for this one, guys, and hopefully you are too.